Hey loves, it's Brianna. Welcome to a 2023 Christmas Wrap With Me Q&A. I asked you for your questions over on Instagram. I'm Habits of Brie over there, and there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of wrapping to do. I really though, I'm gonna just tell you up front, it's gonna be a lot of talking and probably a little bit of wrapping because it's just awkward. I wanna talk to you guys, but then I'm looking down, wrapping a gift, and I just get distracted. So I'll probably wrap in between some of the questions, but this is probably a good video to put on if you have some cleaning to do and just wanna listen to some chit chat, or I know I like to listen to podcasts and videos when I'm working out sometimes too, to sort of pass the time while I'm doing that, or driving in the car. So it's gonna be a little bit different than my normal get up, clean with me motivation, but obviously you could wrap gifts with me today too if you have some gifts that you need to wrap. So we'll get started to the first question. What are your favorite bands to listen to right now? Okay, so I have definitely been on a Taylor kick since she's been re-releasing all her old albums and all of the vault songs. Especially You're Losing Me, I have been playing that on repeat. Presley loves it too. Every time Presley gets in the car, she said, put on You're Losing Me. Me and Presley are big Taylor fans. These are a couple things that I got for Landon. I'll just show you guys really fast. I thought that this was so cute since his name's Landon. It says the land. He always any kind of sports stuff he likes. And then also Guardian shirt says protect the land. So got him these. And one of the little hacks I do at Christmas time, which somebody actually asked me this, do I have any Christmas tips? I do a different color gift wrap for each of the kids. So Landon's this year is green, Hayden's is going to be the red, Presley's is going to be the pink, and that way there's just not as much confusion and nobody's accidentally opening somebody else's gift that's happened a couple times and they're in tears. So I feel it's easier, and then you don't have to worry about all of the gift tags either. So just a little thing that I do. Okay, Landon is green. But another thing I listened to that I thought was so good that I highly, highly, highly recommend. I kind of need a box for these. I'm gonna hold off on these. We're gonna wrap something else. It's easier to wrap in a box. And I'll have to find boxes for the clothes stuff. He actually has quite a bit of clothing things this year. I think that happens as they get older, right? But I love listening to books on Audible. So I just listened to Linda Thompson's memoir, okay? I love listening to memoirs. I think people's life stories are just always so fascinating. I used to love watching Annie biography with my dad when I was a kid, and even History Channel stuff. I just love it. I love learning, and I love hearing just about people's lives and their stories. I just think it's the most fascinating thing in the world. But I listen to Linda Thompson. Ugh. I'll continue. Hold on. I told you it's ADHD trying to very difficult to rap and talk at the same time. Good Lord. Okay, Linda Thompson. I feel you don't have to be an Elvis fan. But if you are an Elvis fan, maybe we got tape. I think I had another thing of tape here. You don't have to be an Elvis fan, but if you are, so fascinating because she was Elvis's longest last girlfriend before he passed away. So basically he divorced Priscilla and met Linda Thompson. She was 19 years old. She was Miss Tennessee. So they met at a movie theater, and I just love how she tells her story because again, it's her actually reading it to you. So I love that. Jessica Simpson was like that too. That's the only thing I was a little bit bummed about Britney's was it wasn't read by her. I think it would have been way better if it was, just so much more entertaining. But I loved how Linda, she has a really soothing voice to listen to too. So anyway, she was Elvis's last girlfriend before he passed away. She was 19 when they met. She was at this event in Miss Tennessee at a movie theater, and he asked to come sit by her, and they were making out the whole night, and she ended up becoming his girlfriend, and she was with him for over 4 years. They broke up a couple months before he passed away, and I think he did then date somebody else after her, but she was his last long-term girlfriend. And then this is just what I mean, her story is so fascinating. After he passed away, she met Bruce Jenner, married Bruce Jenner, and that's where she had Brandon and Brody, her 2 boys. And like Brody Jenner, if you watch The Hills, like he was the one on The Hills. He was on like Kardashians a bit too. But I felt for her so much in her story because you can just tell like she's a romantic and she's so loving and she has so much to give and she's so caring. And I just felt like what Elvis did to her made me sad. And then obviously like she married Bruce and he wasn't honest with her about being transgender. And so even though she's like, he was my best friend and like she like loved him, she's like, I got married to be married to a man. So like that's why they ended up divorcing. Then she got married to David Foster, which if anybody watched, I haven't watched Real Housewives in so long because like I haven't cable and I can't even tell you. She was on, Yolanda I think was on Beverly Hills a while ago. She was the one with like Lyme disease. She was married to David Foster. I guess after him and Linda divorced, he married Yolanda, so like Gigi Hadid's mom. But it was so interesting like how many famous people Linda Thompson has either been married to or like is connected to. And I love this about her. If you like the song My Grown Up Christmas List, that's written by her. Like I know like Kelly Clarkson sings it, I know like Natalie Cole sings it too. But yeah, she's like written all these songs, like Whitney Houston has sung and Celine Dion has sung, like so many things she is behind, which I don't know. I thought her memoir was so interesting and I loved the way that she told her story and she had a very interesting life. So I like listening to those books while I'm, or Audible books, excuse me, like memoir books while I'm cleaning or like working out or driving. And then, what do I want to write next? I do one of Presley's. Barbie. She asked Santa for a Barbie dream house this year. So I think it's gonna have to be something I'm gonna put together in another night because I don't have the energy for that right now. But I also was gonna say I've been listening to Kristen Cavallari's new podcast. It's called Let's Be Honest. Which, funny enough, again, this is how like everyone's connected by like 7 degrees of separation. She dated Brody Jenner. I think she actually ends up saying on the podcast they weren't actually together on The Hills, that was pretend, but she did date him in real life like a couple years before The Hills was filmed. But so she dated him, but obviously now like she's divorced, has 3 kids, obviously relatable. And I just love, she gets on her podcast with her best friend Justin. They are so funny together. They're so funny. So I like putting them on because I'm always just like laughing and she tells like all these crazy, interesting stories. It's really good. The other 2 papers I got, I believe those are from Hobby Lobby, and this one's from Target. And even though it's so cute, I hate the quality of this one. Like it's already making me nervous just cutting it because I feel like it, you know, one of those papers where you're like, oh God, this is gonna like rip while I'm wrapping it. So I don't like the quality of this one. That's a bummer. The Hobby Lobby one is good quality. Okay, so sort of the method to my madness here with the wrapping is I'm gonna get all the gifts wrapped and put them in these Santa bags. I'll show you. I've gotten these for each of the kids. Like after Hayden was born, I think I got them for the older 2 when they were just like a few years old. But I love it has their names on them and it's so nice. I know some people just like put the gifts in these without wrapping them, but I feel like that's the fun of Christmas morning, is like watching them unwrap everything. So I put everything in here, and then I think it just makes it easier too for like carrying all the gifts. And I'll put the bows on later, so I'll sort of figure out like what all I can fit on here, and then maybe some of the bigger things that don't fit in here as well, I'll do really pretty bows on them. So I'm like saving myself time, because sometimes I feel like it's stupid, like you put the bows in here and it gets all scrunched up. Anyways, it doesn't really work. Okay, before I do another gift, look at another question. What is your diet and fitness routine, please? Okay, so what do I want to write? We'll do, it's easier when I square boxes like this. Diet and fitness routine. So I have not been going to Pure Barre as much. Like occasionally I'll do a drop-in class, but if you've ever done it, you know it is expensive, and I love doing it. Like if I can commit to do it consistently, I absolutely always love the results. I love going, I feel so good. But I just have not been able to commit with like how busy we've been with all the different kids' activities. Even on like the weekends when they are with their dad, like Landon has basketball, Kezzy's had dance performances. It's just been a lot. So even when it's like, oh, a day I think I could go, I end up not being able to make the classes because they only have them at certain times too. Plus, it's like such a hike for me to get out there. Where I live, it's about over 30 minutes for me to get there. Like I have to leave like almost 40 minutes beforehand to get there on time, which is just such a bummer. Like, have to drive that far. I feel like you have to be like so committed to do it. So I would love to get back to it at some point if that's possible. But for now, I've just been doing a drop-in class here or there if I can make it. But then my girlfriend, she is amazing. Like she's worked with different personal trainers. So what I love about going to the gym with her is not only then do I have a gym buddy, like we usually go on the days when we don't have the kids, but because she's done personal training before, she knows all these tips that they've like taught her and all these different exercises. So I feel like with her, I love going because we focus more on like building muscle. Like we've done a lot of weight stuff, which in the past I've always just done more like cardio or more workout classes, which I still enjoy doing. Like I think cardio does really like help me for my mental health, like break a sweat and just kind of like zone out. Like I said, I just like listen to whether it's music or different stuff while I'm doing it too. But I feel like when we do go and do the weightlifting stuff, like it just helps kind of add in some variety. And from everything I've learned via like IG reels about, you know, fitness and all that, cardio is helpful to like burn quick calories, but long term it's so much better if you're building muscle because then you're basically turning your body into a calorie burning machine where like you're burning calories even when you're not working out. Like cardio just is kind of burning them while you're doing the workout. That's the way it was like explained in something I watched. So I feel like that's been really helpful for me to sort of, I guess like have like a kickstart because I feel like, yeah, my fitness this summer, I really just like fell off the wagon, I think. Is this her bag? Yeah. This summer I feel like I just fell off the wagon when it came to like working out and eating well. And around Thanksgiving was when I was like, okay, even though I've been working out again, like I still feel like I don't have the energy, and that's always been like me. Like I've always had so much energy, can get so much done in a day, and I was just like dragging, and I'm like, I need to change my diet. Like I think I am getting older. I just turned 36 a few days ago, and just reaching for more like processed foods or a lot of like foods on the go, like eating a lot of fast food. Even though I like try to make healthy choices, it's fast food, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be like portions that probably are too much and just higher calories and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna focus on making really high protein, healthy meals at home, made with like superfood ingredients as much as possible. So I actually like putting a reel out on the same day that I'm doing this video, where I kind of have been filming like what I'm eating at the moment, because I'm trying to drink a ton of water. That's always been really hard for me. Ugh, I will add like lemon to it though, just to make it a little bit more better for me. I should have done that before filming this video. It made a big thing of ice water with lemon. Why did I do that? But anyways, I've been trying to drink way more water, and just everything I eat, I'm trying to pick the most like high protein possible. So like I get high protein oatmeal and I make it with milk, and because you make it with water, you know, it's like not as much protein. I'm not worried about calories at all. Like I'm probably definitely consuming way more calories than I was, but I feel like my body is burning it all so much more efficiently because of protein that I'm eating, and then because of like trying to work on building more muscle. So I feel like all in all, I don't have a scale anymore. I haven't actually, he took the scale in the divorce, and I just never got one because it's not something that I feel like I need to like fixate on or, you know, constantly be doing. I just kind of go by how my clothes fit me. I feel like that's just way better for me, and I do feel like things are fitting me better than they were like a month ago. Like not anything dramatic, but you know what I mean. So I feel like it is just better. Like I love making chili. And I think what's good about it too is when you do take the time to be like, not necessarily like, I'm not like meal prepping the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I'll make chili for the week so that like anytime I want to have chili for lunch or for dinner, like I'll put chili on a sweet potato for dinner, and have like a bowl of chili for lunch the next day. So like it is kind of like changing it up a little bit, but I'm not spending the money then on the fast food. So I feel like overall it helps like save you money too, and then you're just like eating better. So higher protein meals has been the focus, and trying to drink more water and not reaching for like the processed snack food, like not grabbing the bags of chips or not grabbing the granola bars or like even things that are like seemingly healthy for you. Like if it's pre-packaged, it's like probably not that great for you. So I'm avoiding all of those things if I can. And I feel like it definitely is helping. Like I feel better, which is nice. This is an interesting question. I don't know if I'm the best person to answer this. It says, how do you feel like your personality has changed since the divorce? I don't know. I don't know if I'd necessarily say like my personality has changed over just my life has changed so dramatically. And it's weird because like as much as I feel like I've lost a lot, and I don't just mean like the Hawaii house and you know things that Adam took, I lost a lot of relationships that I just never thought. Holy, sorry, my battery died. I honestly have no idea where I was even in talking about that. Kailua, no, she just was pulling on the camera over there. The camera falls, it's Kailua. Come here, Kai. Come here. Come here, baby. Yeah, come here. Hi, you want to say hello? Come here. You always like to say hi, make an appearance. Huh? Say hello, everybody. She's getting so big, like so big. I think one of the questions I did see when I like was just first scrolling was advice on your cat not bothering your Christmas decorations, and I have none. Like every day she's pulling bows off the tree, ornaments off the tree. She's climbed the tree in my bedroom, which scared me to death. Like literally was from top to bottom inside. Like she went up the trunk of the tree. So I don't know. I don't have any advice from you or for you for keeping your cat out of the ornaments. So I think it's just kind of, it is what it is, and you kind of like have to take care of it, huh? But she's so sweet. Like I literally, I'm so glad we have you. I'm so glad we have you. And she's like, oh mom, stop it. I know, here, go play. Just don't, you know, mess up the decorations too much. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna look at other questions. What is your favorite day of the week? That is such a good question. Probably whatever day that I get my kids back on, like that week, because I miss them so much. And it is, like, I would say, okay, maybe going back to like your personality changing, I don't think I ever expected the level of depression, just being very honest, that all of this was going to go through. Like I think I was very blindly optimistic that this is going to be happier in many capacities, and it's not. Like not being with my kids has, I think, made me so sad. And it's funny, I was talking about like Kristen's podcast earlier, and I think what a lot of people don't understand is like when you don't have your kids and then you don't have plans, you kind of go crazy. At least, I mean, she kind of explained it that way, and I feel like that was me. Like on the days when I don't have my kids, I want to make so many plans with friends, or obviously like I was dating somebody, and so that was great. I mean, it was like it gave me something to do so that I wasn't alone, depressed and upset and like missing my kids and thinking about them every second. Not that I like don't think about them every second, it makes sense, because I think as a mom you like really just can't, Kailua. But as a mom you really like don't turn off. I think it's just like your mind is always going to like, what do they need? Are they okay? Well, you know, and just like things on that, you're always like thinking about them. But at least it helped me to focus on something where I felt happy doing things versus like if I'm home alone by myself without them. I'm just miserable. I'm miserable without them. Like I hate being home alone without my kids. It's the worst. I don't, you know what I mean? And I know there's people who are like, oh, well, you have to like learn to be happy. Well, like, yes, I can learn to be happy, but I think it's definitely like I'm a social person. I am very outgoing. Again, I'm very high energy. So I think part of it too is like it like kills my energy. And maybe now I'm putting that together of like when the kids were home for the summer, I think it was like different too. Maybe some of my feelings were like when they went back to school as well. Which like at least I still have Hayden here, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like he's gonna be starting preschool next year. So I do, I think it was something I did not expect to be, or I guess I just didn't think about it. You know, also too, I think like when you think about the divorce, you just don't think of like what your custody is really gonna look like. And then until you figure it out and start doing it. Cause like in my head, I was like, oh, it's fine. On the days when I don't have my kids, I'm just gonna like work as much as I can and get like as much work done. But honestly, it's like when I have them, I'm pouring so much energy into them. So then when I don't, I am pretty like drained in a certain level where it's like it's almost hard to just like have them the energy to do the work. I think maybe that's it. I think all of this caused me to have to really reevaluate my energy and my health and my scheduling and like, you know, how I was able to do things in the past. It just was like a different balance, I think, because I wasn't going through like withdrawals of not seeing my kids. Like, I don't know how else to explain that, but I feel like that's really what it is. It's like I never had to go through those feelings of like not knowing if they were doing okay, if I wasn't able like to talk to them on a certain day. Like I never had them in the past. So yeah, I guess I don't know if it answers the question. But if there's any other, you know, moms in a similar situation to me and like you are having those same feelings, like let me know. Or again, something I'll probably talk to my therapist about, but like if you've already talked about that and just have any suggestions or advice, you know, I always am appreciative of you guys and your support and like just helping each other out, because that's what our community is all about. I'm like nervous to talk a little bit when I'm rapping. I'm worried it's gonna like make too much noise. It's gonna be hard to hear. But are you done with your Christmas shopping yet? Who's done? Who's on the ball? Who's still shopping? I'm like almost done. Like so close to being done. Just, you know, it's one of those things like they've said some like last minute things and I'm like, ooh, that would be a good idea. So if I can go grab a couple more things and then I can close it. I'm gonna answer a couple questions quickly so I'm like not as distracted. Can we get Mary Berry sent as a regularly offered one? So they're talking about from Cap and Queen. That was the December scent. So I don't think it will be offered regularly, but I think definitely like it's one I want to bring back then for like the next Christmas holiday season. So it'll be back. What's the next home project that you want to get done? Honestly, I think like Presley's room is probably the next one. I'm still in the middle like finishing Landon's. There's a couple of things that don't come in, I think, till like February or March. It's like almost done, but I haven't really like done the full decoration and organizing. I just kind of like did it for Christmas and I'm like, it's gonna stay like this until some of the other things come in like February, March, and then I'll like finish it fully. And then I probably will do Presley's room for like around her birthday. Have you thought about remarrying in the future? Thought about it? I don't know. I mean, I never could have predicted my life was going to end up like this, so I have no idea what the future holds. I think at this point, I've just like quit just being very vulnerable. I've just been saying a prayer that like God's going to bring what's best for me, and I don't necessarily know what that is, because I think that's like the place where I'm at. It's like I think I like thought I knew what I wanted my life to be for so long, and I just think so much of that didn't work out, right? Like I wanted to have a family and be married, and like I wanted all that so bad, and I think because it didn't work out, I'm just kind of like, God, like whatever is best for me, like let that work out. I don't know, I think it's just kind of the place I'm at right now. Birthday tradition. So yeah, so it was my birthday a couple days ago, and my favorite birthday tradition here is there's this cul-de-sac with all these lights. It's called Chandler Commons. They've been doing this since I was a little girl, and we would always, usually as a little girl, I'd go out for a hibachi dinner. That was like my favorite thing. And my parents were like, where do you want to go eat? It's usually hibachi. And so we'd go to that and then drive around the cul-de-sac afterwards. We'd sometimes stop for ice cream too. Stop for ice cream, drive around the cul-de-sac and look at the Christmas lights. So this weekend with the kids, we weren't able to go to the hibachi dinner on my actual birthday because Presley had a dance recital and Lana had a basketball game. It was just like a really busy day. But we did go drive and see the lights after her dance recital was over, and there were some other Christmas lights. And then the next day, they're like, Mom, we have to go to hibachi for your birthday. So I thought that was so cute of them. So I took 3 kids by myself to hibachi. I think that the people at our table were like, what are you doing here with 3 kids by yourself? But they're great. I mean, Lana and Presley are old enough now, and like they've done it so many times. They like love it. Which is Hayden. He's still just like a little afraid when they do like the fire part. And now he's, by the way, refusing to sit in a high chair. So because he was in a regular chair, he knew even the part where the flame was coming, and he actually got out of the chair and like went across the restaurant kind of like by himself and came back as soon as the flame was over. And I was just like, okay, dude, like you're aware, like, you know, you don't like to sit here when they do the flames, like it's cool. But yeah, it was really nice just having a little B-Day celebration with my 3 little babies, even though they're like not even babies anymore. Favorite Christmas song? I love the Christmas song by Nat King Cole, like his version. When I hear that, it just is like all the feels. As a kid, my dad and mom would always play in the car. We had them on cassette tapes. That's how old I am. Cassette tapes, not even, I think eventually we did get the CDs, but we had the cassette tapes of the Time Life Treasury of Christmas. And I believe on the one cassette tape, that was like the first song. Cat and dog are fighting right now. But that was the first song on the one tape, and it just like, we'd put that in the car as soon as we started Christmas. We was like on the way to go cut down our Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving, and like, oh my gosh, it just brings all the feelings of Christmas is coming, like it's here, oh my god, it's the best time. And his voice, there's just something about Nat King Cole's version, like it can't be topped. So that's my favorite Christmas song. What's something you've done that you're proud of? I don't think I could ever be more proud of anything in my life than my 3 kids. What stocking stuffers are your go-to every year for your kids? So I usually kind of make the stockings more about like food and treats and like pencils. Presley, I feel like she always loves like nail polishes or like any kind of like lip glosses or tiny makeup kind of stuff. Like she's so into all the girly things. Landon, because he's had an obsession with Pokemon cards. I feel like Pokemon cards are easy to stuff in the stocking. And then Hayden this year, I mean, he just loves anything Mickey. He's also so into books. It's actually like what's on my list. I need to probably just go pick up a bunch more books for him to read, because all he wants to do is sit and read. Or maybe I should just like go to the library and get a bunch. But I feel like with him, he gets like stuck on certain ones that he wants to read over and over and over again. So I feel like it is nice to have some of the books that he really likes. So those don't really fit in the stocking, but for him, I might even get some like Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, because his favorite thing too is like he just loves to go get donuts. So that might be a good thing for his stocking too. I can't say like I do the same thing every single year, but you know, you try to think of like small things that they really enjoy. What is your favorite Christmas movie? There's a lot that I love, but I think Home Alone is my favorite. Favorite Christmas tradition? I mean, honestly, I think there's just something so special about reading the night before Christmas on Christmas Eve. Like, I love Christmas Eve. Sometimes I've realized it about me as like, maybe I like the build-ups or like the anticipation to things more than sometimes I do the actual day itself. So I think I like Christmas Eve, that feeling of like, there's still gonna be this like amazing Christmas morning and getting to see their faces when they see their presents and all of that. That's like so fun. But I like going to church, and I like reading night before Christmas. Like, I think Christmas Eve is just the whole thing. I love it. Somebody asked, can you talk about your surgery? So if you want to see that, I did a whole video like explaining everything. So if you want to watch that, it's on my channel. Do you declutter your decorations often since you add new every year? A lot. I have decluttered over this last year, simply because a lot of my decorations that I brought to Hawaii all got left in Hawaii. There was a mistake. And then here, what I had left, I kind of went through and figured like what I was still going to keep. And then anything that I was like, you know, I'm not using this anymore, I did give to Adam for his house here so that the kids, you know, have decorations in both houses, because I feel like that's the reason I do this. I mean, I always decorated before I had kids and before YouTube, but like the main motivation for why I do all of this is for my kids. Like I like them, I like to see their reaction. I know they love coming home when it's like all decorated. I know they love having movie nights. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're my motivation for why I do all of this. And then obviously I love sharing it with all of you. So I felt like in decluttering it all, I was just like, I just want them to have things at both houses, you know, so that they felt like it was decorated and homey for them. Are you taking any anxiety type pills to help cope with the divorce? No hate at all, just curious. So I have asked numerous times throughout my life about going on certain types of medication, and the doctor I had at the time when I asked about my dad, he was just like, you know, I was like nursing, I want to have more kids. So he's like, I really think if we cut out caffeine, it's going to help with a lot of your anxiety. So if you are having like elephant stomping on your chest, like anxiety attack feelings, when I cut out the caffeine, that eliminated that for me, unless there's like certain moments, right? Like just really tough moments where it's like crept up again, right? Which I think is normal, but I was having those almost daily. So the fact that cutting out caffeine, like that really helped me. So that has always, I think, kind of been my one way that I naturally was able to remedy it without having to take anything. I did try something and I saw no effect at all. So I don't know, again, my sister's a pharmacist, so I talked with her about it, and she was just kind of like, yeah, sometimes it has an effect on people, sometimes it doesn't. And I just sort of, again, felt like, I don't know, it makes me almost have more anxiety to try things and not know how it's going to affect me. And I think I can just sometimes do better if I really focus on what I'm eating and make sure I'm taking care of myself. But I'm not opposed to it. Like, I feel like if maybe I was working with the right doctor who could help me figure it out better, I wouldn't be opposed to it, if that makes sense. I think it's like I've always had a doctor who is either like, no, I think naturally you could take care of this, or tried something and it didn't work, so just kind of felt like I'm over it. What's your favorite chocolate candy? So normally it's peanut butter M&Ms. I will say though, this Halloween, like Reese's, like the little miniature Reese's were just hitting the spot. Like, that's probably my favorite at the moment. How do you ignore everyone's opinions of you and your life online? It seems like people think influencers don't have feelings or see the real person behind the post. I don't think people do. I would say, like, even people that I have been friends with, like, they think it's just what you post online, which obviously is just like a small fraction. Like, the way I try to explain to somebody, it's like, you know, because I was a teacher, it's like, I'm a teacher. I can't show up to my classroom crying about my divorce every single day, or I would lose my job. And I think that's what, even though it's like, oh, you're an influencer, you're sharing your life online. No, I'm sharing like bits. That's why it's even like bits of Brie. It's the bits of my life that I'm in the mood to share. But I just don't think that it would be helpful for me to every single day cry about the things that I'm struggling with. Like, I used to, back when I first started, I guess I would maybe share things more in the moment, right? And now I feel like I've really not done that, because I feel like there was I don't know, there was like a maturing around it of like, how do I say this? Like, instead of being reactive, I wanted to be more thoughtful and more intentional if I'm going to try to help somebody who's struggling with the same thing as me. And I feel like there's so much that I'm quite honestly still struggling with and still navigating that I someday hope to share the like, here's what I've learned and here's the advice that I would give. And I still try to give advice if I feel like the question is appropriate, like, or if I can answer it appropriately. But I just think in this moment, like, I'm still figuring out co-parenting. I'm still figuring out so many things that I would rather take the time to do it and come back later and share about it. Like, I know somebody even said, like, oh, Beyonce never came out until years down the line about how, like, much she struggled postpartum. Like, Beyonce wasn't, you know, on stage crying, talking about her postpartum depression, you know? And I think it still is very impactful for her after the fact to come out and talk about it and make, you know, people feel normal, like, if you're going through it, to know that you're not alone. But I don't know, I think I just have moved to a spot where, like, I want to process things more and learn more and grow more myself before I, like, share any helpful advice with people.
In editing, I wanted to make sure I really answered that question, which is, how do you ignore the opinions? I think you really have to just be yourself and know that it's okay that not everybody is going to like you. At the same time, it is so appreciated when you see kind and supportive comments, because the world needs more of that. And so many people out there could use that encouragement and could use those uplifting words. Even somebody who really does a good job 99% of the time blocking out the hate and negativity, they might be having a really weak moment and a really hard day. And those kind words mean so much. So I just encourage all of you, please keep being kind and put that positivity out there in the world. The world needs your light so bad right now.
All right, that is it for this Wrap With Me Q&A. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting this channel and our family. And I'm just wishing you the very merriest of Christmases, and I hope to see you in the next videos. And be sure to let me know down in the comments if there is anything that you would like to see for either right now in the next couple videos before Christmas or in the new year. Let me know your requests. Bye, loves.